Boba Fett bit, Boba Fett bit, Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.
Doom.
Boba Fett bit.
Cool. So next for episode 44 of the podcast is a little bit that we like to call the Boba Fett bit.
Do you get a Boba Fett checkbook and pen?
We're going back in time to a galaxy far, far away to Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, Season 3.
Warning, this may contain spoilers.
Warning, it may also contain Chapter 3.
Oh, sorry.
What did he say?
Season 3. I was like, bloody hell. I was like, someone has wiped my memory.
So I was getting confused because, episode 3 is not an episode, they called it Chapter 3, didn't they? And then I got completely lost. They called it seriously. Sorry, Brett.
Yeah, that's right, you're back. You're in Mos Espa. How you doing?
So, I mean, where do we want to start? Do we want to go and give a little overview of what's come before and set the scene about what happens on episode 3, Chapter 3, whatever we want to call it?
Let's just stick with the episode. It's easier.
Yeah, but I don't want to get slated by the people saying, "Which Chapter 3?" Chapter 3.
Yeah, the official title is Chapter 3, The Streets of Mos Espa. So I'd say chapter, otherwise we'll just get at least we'd get emails.
You say that, it's just because you're getting edgy about it. You can't take it.
Shut up. Stop getting Star Wars wrong.
Yeah, let's do a little synopsis then of what we've seen so far and where we're at with Chapter 3.
See, it's quite hard, isn't it, to remember?
Yeah.
Anyone care to do that?
Okay, we start off with, we see how Boba Fett escaped the Great Sarlacc, and we digesting there for a while. I'd imagine a few years, but then finally manages to blast his way out.
It certainly wasn't 1,000 years.
He can't have been in there for years, surely.
It's got to be a couple of years, just from the time jump from comparing it with the Mandalorian and that.
But it doesn't make any sense, does it?
He ate quite a bit in there because he went in about 100 pounds lighter.
You can't tell me that he's been unconscious for years.
No, he would have been trapped in there, being digested in pain over 1,000 years.
But it wouldn't be 1,000 years, would it?
Yeah, I know, but that's what they said.
Yeah, no, but it was stupid at the time.
Yeah, no, I'm just quoting them. That's not me.
No, I refuse to accept that. He was in there weeks, months at most. I'm not having it. It's not possible.
Well, how many years are there between? Oh, mind you, we don't know, do we? Because he hasn't met them up with them in the flashbacks. He hasn't bumped into the Mandalorian yet.
But it doesn't make any sense.
No, but that was only a few days ago in the current time, not a few days, but we see him take over. The
Jabba's
throne.
palace from Bib Fortuna. So how Mandalorian's about 3 years after, isn't it? 3 to 5 years after.
Well, he must have been hanging out with the sand people.
So basically, So then he comes up, crawls through the desert. Jawas nick his gear when he faints. Ends up with Sam being enslaved by the sand people. Because you kind of get flashbacks, and in the modern time, he's dealing with being a gang boss in Mos Espa and all the frills and spills that come with that. But then in flashbacks, he's then ends up winning the trust of the sand people. They sort of train him up, and there is an awesome bit. I don't know if you've seen it, but you know the bit when they do the dance around the fire with the gaffy sticks, when he gets sworn in and gets his robes, and all the sand people dance around the fire. Someone's done a version of that on TikTok and on Facebook too. It's to Thriller, and it fits perfectly. So I don't know if that was what they were using when they practiced, and then they put a tribal bit over the top. But if you can find it, it is very funny and ruins the scene. But yeah, and then he's with the sand people, and then he's learning that in the past and learning the ways of the deserts, I guess. And in the present, he's being
he's learning how to be a crime boss.
Yeah. And more social worker than crime boss, but
well, there is a bit of that. Yeah. There is a bit of that, but I guess are we seeing how he's changed in the flashbacks to the person he is now? I don't know. At least it makes it a bit more interesting, I suppose, than him just shooting everyone.
Well, it doesn't though, does it? Because that's what I want to watch. And to be fair, I think the people of Mos Vespa want to watch it as well, because him, being a leader that's respected isn't going well for him, is it?
Did you just call it Mos Vespa?
Yeah.
I see what you did there. No, but I'm guessing that's what it's going to come down to, though, isn't it? And they're going to go unforgiving, and then it'll be like, I tried to do it your way, and now now you'll do it. Now I'll have to go back to how I used to do things, and then just kill everyone.
Right. So that's where we were up to, and then in chapter 3, we continue the journey of his youth work experience, where there's the gang. What are they called? The biker gang. The Pike Syndicate. Is it?
Yeah, that sounds right. Because they do that thing like the two J's, don't they? But then they call themselves something else. Well, they're supposed to be hooks. But hey, because I'm not even funny. Jim Jeffries has that as a logo on stage when he does stand up. So once he gets wind of that, he could sue them. Sorry, carry on, Paul. I'm butting in.
No, that's it. I was just wanted to make the point that he's becoming like a youth leader now in this latest one,
well,
and he's adopting pets. He's that. That
was a gift from the Huts.
Yeah, they're trying to make him into a lovable rogue, aren't they? As opposed to a, death or inspiring bounty hunter.
But do you trust?
And now crime lord.
But part of me was like, do we trust the Rancor Keeper? Because he's saying the first person he sees is who he imprints on, and I know that's a bit Jurassic Parkish. But do we trust him, or has he been sent there to get rid of him?
But the fact that he gave the Rancor a big hug and the Rancor didn't eat him.
Yeah, but it's early yet. Maybe he's been instructed. I mean,
I just think all that's a load of arse gravy to just kind of retrofit some lore into what was essentially a monster.
Yeah, but
it would make a good action figure, him riding a Rancor monster. Maybe that's what.
No, it would, and that could happen. And the other bit was when he said, "I've rode bigger
Come to
beasts."
shops this Christmas.
When he said he's rode bigger beasts.
So on the Rancor thing, it's Jedi, isn't it? Yeah. So there is that bit when Skywalker kills him, and the I guess what is this keeper or his guard?
Yeah, Rancor Keeper.
Yeah, he looks proper devastated when that happens. So maybe it's just a way of explaining that weird cut shot to him almost crying when the beast is killed.
But at the same time,
again, load of arse gravy, but
no. But my thing on it is if you've got a Rancor Keeper and it's not that big a deal, why have you hired Danny Trejo?
Because it's Rodriguez, isn't it?
Yeah, so I know, but
they'll just do. I know.
They're really good friends.
Popping down for 5 minutes. I'll do that. Why not?
But I don't know. It just seems that he would at least have some sort of cool fight scene at some point.
I don't know. I think you'll just be a little bit hopeful.
Tragic. I liked Stephen Root as the sort of slimy local businessman who was moaning about the gangs and then realising that he was actually charging people shitloads for water. He was quite good. I haven't seen him in much since Dodgeball and obviously Office Space as well back in the day. Yeah, and so he's nice to see him still about.
I did see a meme the other day, which was it was him in Boba Fett, but with the caption "Stole my stapler."
Yeah,
still good.
Yeah.
And Ming Na Wen is obviously she's done Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that, but she's 58.
So who's that?
Ming Na Wen, is Bubba's bounty hunter
bodyguard.
See, my money's on her being the one that turns on him.
Yeah, that could be cool as well because she's. But it's just the fact, and she still does in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now. She's done a lot of her own stunt work and fight scenes and that as well. And then you're she's cool. Then you're she's 58.
Age is no barrier in a galaxy far, far away.
No, I know that, and the Force is definitely strong with her. I mean, she's come a long way since doing Street Fighter with Kylie Minogue.
We've all come a long way since those days.
So not only is he a youth leader, not only is he adopting pets, but he also let Chrysanthemum free as well.
Yeah, Black Chrysanthemum, yeah.
I mean, seriously, if I were one of the locals, I'd be saying, you know what, he's a bit soft. Maybe we could take him.
No, I agree with that. I mean, this is I think I said this the other week. You know, it was the if he dies guy has now become sort of
Worse.
yeah. But
So
I think he's
I
gonna
did
get
a line
pushed.
of I did
He did a line of what?
I did a line of yeah. No, I did a list, the good and the bad, and in my bad, I've put, and I couldn't remember the name of him, so I just put Big Chewie. Big Chewie just runs off like Lou Ferrigno at the end.
Yeah.
Like you could literally go da 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 over the top of that, and it was exactly like the ending of the Hulk. Where's he going? What? Just did he walk there?
Sit off.
I think he's chasing the Huts, but I think we have seen here's what our next series might be.
No, we said that last week. You
Yeah,
said that last week.
yeah.
I don't obviously. I'm not a chowderhead like yourselves, but if he's supposed to be as bad as you say he is in the comics, then I don't see Disney making a show that lives up to that.
I mean, he didn't do anything in the first episode really that he was in, and again a bit flat in the second one. So if he was going to be badass, it would have been by now, surely.
Well, he's gonna come back yet, isn't he? Because it's gonna turn out that like they're gonna do the old, how I was hired was against my code, and now I'm gonna come and help you or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that,
It's going to be a.
I mean,
everyone's going to be on the same
Is it going to
side.
turn out that because he let him go, he's got a life debt to Boba Fett, and we just don't know it yet?
It could be something like that, but I don't think Black Chrysanthemum was done as he was sold to be a gladiator in the arena when he was young or something in train, so he might not know the Wookiee code. If we're going to get,
I'm sure we'll get some flashbacks.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it too bad. I mean, the worst bit were I didn't even mind the kids on the bikes. The bikes were dodgy.
Jesus.
But the bikes were dodgy. If they had better bikes, they were just too shiny and bright for Star Wars. But
They're like Power Rangers.
yeah. But if they didn't introduce new characters, people go, it's just playing fan service and using characters that people already know. They introduce new ones and like, we don't want these new characters.
Because they're rubbish.
Yeah, but, let's be honest. If we go back to A New Hope and Empire and Jedi, a lot of the new characters now weren't the most fleshed out of characters, were they? Wedge has 10 lines in the whole series, and everyone says he's like one of the best characters in the films. It's just like, stop picking obscure characters and pretending they meant more. They've done something.
They just felt lazy to me, straight out of a steampunk playbook, or in fact, I don't think either of you watched it, but the recent Discworld Sam Vimes thing that was on iPlayer.
Oh yeah, you reviewed it, I think, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, they would have fitted in that TV show quite easily. Take the mopeds away, but they would have fitted in that quite easily. I don't know, it just didn't fit. Doesn't seem to. And I'm far from a Star Wars chowderhead, but even I could see it just kind of jarred with everything we've seen.
It was just the bike. If they'd had like the old speeder bikes or something, it would have worked. They just gave them these sort of bright, like Vesper-y kind of. Yeah. I could even put up with the eye and the bit stuck in them, but the bikes just they weren't. Especially for Tatooine, where everything's like wrecked and second hand.
Maybe there's a Brighton seafront that we don't know about yet. And
that's the next one. End. The guy with the robot eye is going to meet his old mate, but it turns out he's got a leather jacket on, and it's all just going to kick off.
Maybe.
Is that when Boba Fett and Chrysanthemum, whatever his name is, goes on a Jolly Boys outing?
Yeah, the planet Margate. What makes me laugh, though, is one of the Gamorrean guards is played by UFC Hall of Famer Frank Trigg, who was like, I'm in the...
Tell you what, your memory is seriously worse than mine. We discussed that last week.
Yeah,
I know, but that's what makes me laugh.
Upset by him walking away, and you could see the
I wasn't going to go to that. But
okay.
No, but he was. What I was going to say, he keeps going on about, make sure you watch the Book of Boba Fett. I'm in it. And then everyone was like, where were you? I watched it. He's like, I'm the guy in the suit.
Oh, yeah. Let's be honest, though. if
I
you
would.
were in,
I would be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would definitely
Be
be.
tweeting every day.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I'd be sacked because I would have done some set pictures like a year before it was due, because I just couldn't hold it in anymore. But the big
Anyway,
question
so
is,
back to the episode.
yeah,
The good thing was there was not so many flashbacks, although the one flashback there was struck me as a bit odd, insofar as we had all that Dances with Wolves nonsense over the last 2 episodes, and then all of a sudden he just jumps on the back of the Ludo, whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called, but they remind me of Ludo in Labyrinth. Buggers off, leaves them all alone. Not one of them goes with him, and he comes back and they're all dead.
yeah, that was a bit.
Why-
that was a bit Owen Baruish, wasn't it? Uncle Owen, Baru.
Yeah, exactly. I think they should have done. I don't know. We should have seen a bit more of what was going on there.
Yeah, but Star Wars has always been that. You've never seen. I spent the whole 3 of the the prequel trilogy waiting to see Anakin Skywalker slice up some younglings, and then when it did, the door shut and that was it. It was like, let's just show us how evil he is. But no, you just kind of got a weird kid's looking face like, what's the matter, Anakin? He's like, and then the door shuts and you don't see it. And they've always done that. I mean, we didn't even see the needle go into Princess Leia with the Imperial probe droid in A New Hope. You know, the door shuts and they walk off. You don't. They've always been. I don't know. They've always kept that stuff out of the way for some reason. But you know, we should do it now. I don't. You know, that's always been a. I guess it's the what you don't see, your brain makes worse, isn't it? Or supposed to, but who knows? But that's been a Star Wars trait all the way through it, though. Like that thing.
I was going to say, it didn't work for this human centipede, did it?
Yeah, no, yeah, they definitely didn't do that. But yeah, I know what you mean. But them all dying, and I don't know if maybe I was waiting for him to ride in at the end and save him, but maybe there's one left or something.
Yeah, I don't know if we saw the kid on the fire. I mean, it didn't look like there was a lot of bodies burning there, to be fair. But whether we saw the young one being put on the flames or not, I couldn't quite make out, and I've not been asked to go back.
It wasn't it clear. There was a black robe, which I guess was the chief one, because he had a black robe like Boba Fett did. But yeah, I looked for a kid. I didn't see. I thought they would have made a big deal of it.
Yeah.
It was, you know, sort of. So maybe he might come back a bit bigger and go like, "Remember me?" Or
Well, maybe he's going to save Boba Fett because everyone else seems to be. So
yeah, he can't fight for himself anymore.
But so we had that. I did like the slimy mayor's bloke who just looks like he needs a slap. He plays that quite well. I've forgotten the actor's name now. I think he's a comedian in America. You know, the one where like, I'll just see if he's in, and then they go, he's locked the door, and then they chased him. He plays the kind of guy. He reminds me a bit, not as bad, but you know the guy who was the reporter bloke in Die Hard, and he was the guy in Ghostbusters who shut down the grid.
Yeah.
You know that sort of. He looks like that kind of guy that you just want to slap, and that works because that's what he's playing. And I felt like wanting to slap him. He just seems like a smug prick, and then you know those people need their comeuppance.
And to be fair, he's the baddest bad guy we've got at the moment, isn't he?
But who is the bad guy? That's the big question of the series now. It looks like it's the weird fish people. After all that, I forgot what they were called, but they look like they might be the ones behind it all now because they're all more were coming in on the ship, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the ones
things,
on the train. Yeah, them things. So it might be them now. But
you're right about that guy. And the chase. I mean, as bad as the chase was, it was also I did like the tropes in there. The crashing into fruit stalls and the
picture,
instead of it being a mirror, it was a picture of
Ralph McQuarrie's art. That was a Ralph McQuarrie. I think I had the jigsaw puzzle with that, but in the real picture, actually, I'm gonna look. I'm sure Luke Skywalker.
Don't do it now.
I'm sure Luke Skywalker is in the real picture of it. I think they took him out because it's obviously supposed to be like a portrait of Jabba the Hutt. But that was an original Ralph McQuarrie like concept sketch or whatever from that ended up as I'm sure I had that as a jigsaw puzzle.
Cool. I got some Battlestar Galactica puzzles, but no Star Wars ones. Anyway, so that was cool in a way. The chase was shite. It was bad.
It was.
And you could, some of the CGI in it with the mopeds was terrible. But I did
Again,
like the fact they just
what
chucked
is
in a load of comedy tropes in there just to.
Yeah,
It
what
was
is it with the
almost to say,
CGI?
we know this is shite, so we're going to put this in there just to give you a laugh.
Yeah, but again, we spoke about the dodgy hut CGI the other week, and the CGI wasn't great for the chase either. It's just bizarre.
Well,
I mean,
think
some
they
of
spent all their
some of
money
it's
on
really
on
good. The
the
train was good.
maybe they just spent all the money on the the Rancor.
Yeah.
That didn't look too bad. That looked quite good.
Yeah.
And they obviously need that to look good because I'm assuming it's not just going to be one episode and that's the end of it. They're going to bring that back at least for another 2 or 3 episodes.
And they want to get the
toys
toys.
to ride on them. Yeah,
They want the toys looking good for the Christmas time when it comes out based on the Rancor
exactly.
monster.
Yeah, just the same mould redone again. That was a cool toy though. I've got the one in the loft still somewhere, I think.
Yeah, but this one Boba Fett's going to be able to ride, so that look like a saddle.
If you fancy loaning it out to the Cult Faction Studios, it looked quite good over there.
No, that means
and He-Man.
that means I've got to get in the Cult Faction loft, and that's more dangerous. That's more dangerous than the Sarlacc these days. You could, if something falls on you, you could be trapped up there for 1,000 years. But no, I'm enjoying it though. I mean, it's 7 episodes altogether, so we're kind of almost halfway through. I think it's told a clear story. Is it the best story? Yeah, I get it. But then, I think people forget how bad some of the storytelling was in the original trilogy. And as much as I love it, and it's Star Wars and it's amazing, when you go back and watch it now, some of it is a bit ropey. And I think people forget that. And it's like, they're doing Star Wars wrong. Is it? Well, they're not. It's just that you're 45 now and you want something more out of it than you did when you were 6 and it was amazing and magical.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that sentiment. I'm not knocking it from a Star Wars fandom perspective, because you're right. That stuff was made 40 years ago and the storytelling was ropey, but we all loved it.
Oh yeah.
I'm mocking, if you like, is just the way it's being done. The characters are ropey. The main chunk of the CGI is ropey, and it doesn't seem. For me, it just doesn't seem to fit. We had the previous episodes predominantly made up of flashbacks that, whilst they were annoying, were telling a story, and we've been moaning about not seeing a lot in the present day, and the stuff we're seeing in the present day is just poorly executed.
But it's one of those things.
Big Chewie running off instead of. I mean, he literally just runs off.
Yeah.
There's no dialogue, no nothing. It's like.
Well, no, he gave him a look and then he ran off. So it's like kind of. I know what you mean though. I did laugh when he ran off.
I was thinking about it the other day as well, because it is very flashbacky. And there was that other series that we watched. I can't remember it now, but that was
Lost.
Flashback. No, that was flashback and then modern day with superheroes. And you just kind of think, well, they could have just told it in sequence and
Arrow.
With the old superheroes.
Oh, Jupiter's Legacy.
That's right. And it kind of feels like a bit the same. Did they just do the flashbacks to keep people entertained, or to try and keep people, because people have short attention spans, so that they can't last 50 minutes or whatever with one plot line? I don't know, but I'm kind of done with the flashbacks.
I don't think flashbacks work if you already know the character. And I know in the entire run of the films, he's probably only got about 7 minutes worth of screen time or something daft like that. But we know who he is.
Yeah.
So it would have made more sense. Well, but it would have made more sense, like you say, to just do the flashbacks as the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Rather than keep trying to go back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel very disjointed.
We saw him in Mandalorian as like you say, the new Boba Fett. So why don't we just see 3 episodes of how he got to be the new Boba Fett, and then pick up the Mandalorian era story from episode 3, 4, whatever onwards.
or even Series 2.
Well, yeah, you probably
You
could
know,
have
you
done
get in there. I mean, that's basically what Arrow did, wasn't it? You know, he would.
Yeah, the thing with Arrow is that you didn't, if you someone like me at least who had not read the comics, you don't know the origin story of what's his name,
Oliver Queen. Yeah.
So that for the first season at least was interesting. It got a bit tedious by season 5 when they're still doing flashbacks. That's bordering on the ridiculous.
The only thing that gives me a little bit of hope is that it's created by Jon Favreau, and the guy is really talented. So maybe the last 4 episodes, bring it back.
Well, he's working with the genius of Favreau is what he's doing is, and he's done it for Marvel as well with the stuff he's been involved in. He's taken what's been dictated from the office of Star Wars, like the high ups, and then he manages to filter it into something that people will actually like.
so basically we're saying, God forbid Jon Favreau hadn't come along, what this would have been like.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, well, look at some of the, he wasn't involved in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
And as much as I didn't mind it, I wasn't always blown away by it. And most of those films felt like there were just bits missing, and it didn't join together properly. I felt like we were watching a highlight reel. That's my view on the newest trilogy.
Yeah.
But and he's done the same for some of the Marvel stuff. Like where the cinema bosses have dictated, like, this is what you need to do in this, and he's like, okay, and then he's like, right, I need to make this palatable now, otherwise we're going to get lynched. And and one of the things that he's done brilliantly is that he's made the Star Wars Holiday Special canon now, because in The Mandalorian there was a bit where one of the prisoners wanted to go back for Life Day, which is and then in this one Boba Fett mentions, he says something about, I've ridden beasts 10 times the size of a Rancor, and he refers to I had to look it up, it's what they call the Pars Ich Feuerdunt, which he wrote in the cartoon series, the cartoon bit that was in the Star Wars Holiday Special, and he also had the same gun at one point. But so George, as much as George Lucas was trying to bury that, you've still got Favreau's now got to made a canon by referring to it. So yeah, I mean, he's got a tough job. You imagine what all the studios and the level of interference. I bet there's people every day wandering around with clipboards or sending notes, and it's just like, surely by now he can say, look, just give me it, I'll do it. It's going to be good. Leave me the fuck alone. Sorry, you have to beat that, but it's not that he hasn't proved himself by now, is it? You know what I mean? Between all the Marvel stuff he's been directing and got involved in, and all the Star Wars stuff he's writing now, it's just give him everything. He's like Jon Favreau, defender of our childhood,
defender of the earth.
Yeah, but no, it's enjoyable. I think it's how it pans out. I think he'll lose his shit at the end, and that's when we'll get the. You finally pushed him too far. He's tried to be nice.
Kind of more of a John J. Rambo, Boba Fett.
Yeah, I think I'm more like an unforgiven thing. Like something's going to happen. And that's the final straw. And then he's just going to have to be nasty. What did you say?
We shall see. Is that us done for Book of Boba Fett?
I think it is. I just want to say one thing, and that my favourite part of the entire episode was the little rodent thing walking along a rock in the moonlight, and then a bird swoops down and picks him up. But wait for it, that large frog type thing sticks its tongue out and gets them both.
Yeah,
all three of those things have probably got names, and I'm not even going to bother to go and find out what their names actually are. But I had to rewind that because I thought I didn't even see the frog thing, because I was concentrating so much on the little rodent. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, Jon Favreau has obviously watched the Gruffalo and taking it from the BBC.
But there's always been a bit. If you go and watch, I think it's from the special edition of Jabba's Palace. When they do that shot, there's always been like a little creature thing there, and it's kind of, someone's probably done it already. There's probably 3 or 4 clips of that where someone eat something. It's just built up each time. So the next one, someone else will probably come along and eat him after he's at that one or something. And it's just really cool. Just again, that was what we loved about Star Wars the first time round. The little details, the little bits in the background. You know, everything counted, even the details in the background.
Do you know what? I think the look and feel that they've created with both Mandalorian and Boba Fett does immerse you in the Star Wars universe. We've not the CGI and the acting in places, but you do feel immersed in the Star Wars space. And no pun intended, but do you know what I mean? It has the look and feel of the original trilogy. So that's the positive about both Mandalorian and whatever it is we're talking about right now. What are we talking about?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Boba.
So yeah, that's my closing gambit on episode 3, chapter 3, season 1.
So that was chapter 3, and no doubt next week we'll be talking about chapter 4 in the Boba Fett bit.
And the shocking revelations that may
Boba Fett
unfold.
bit.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the song.
Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.